Hello and welcome to another driver's seat with Dice Gaming. I'm your host, Dice. Hey, we're going to be talking about one of the most challenging and the most fun racetracks in the entire Gran Turismo 7, as far as I'm concerned. It is the NÜRBURGRING Nordschleife Endurance track. We're not talking about the regular Green Hell, which is 12.94 miles long. We're going to be talking about the Endurance course, the one that wrapped up this season's Manufacturer Cup. This is a 14.83 mile course, which is the combination between the normal Nürburgring and the sprint course, which is 2.26 miles long. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down our Group 3 times. I have a very solid Group 3 presence here with my runs on this track, and I'm just going to break down this track for anybody that's having a hard time getting consistent speed on it. I'm not an expert. I'm not the fastest guy out there when it comes to this track, but I am pretty darn fast. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break down some of the corners and some of the struggles. And it's not a perfect run. It's very quick though. So we're going to go through it and we're going to watch it on replay and just kind of go back and talk about the corners, okay? So without further ado, we're going to go back to the menu book, which is a great feature, where you can go into your gallery and then you can watch some of your times. So right here you'll find that we have replays saved, and this one here, well, this is the Ferrari Redemption run, which is a good one. We'll talk about that one later, but my fastest time right now with my Group 3 cars on this track is a 7.41, and none other than my absolute favorite car to drive, the Dodge Viper Group 3 GTSR. Okay, here we go. So originally, I'd been setting these lap times with my son watching me, and we had a lot of fun doing this. And I accidentally deleted this lap time and was very upset because my top car was a car that I wasn't super proud of. It was the Ford GT Le Mans. But this one just kind of sat in the outstretches of my top 10 times. And now it is my number one car. So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about a couple sections, and we're going to talk about understanding what gears you should be in, when you should brake, when you should give it all your throttle, and how you should adjust your throttle. Now, all of this is different per car, per driving style. A couple things to consider, like this run isn't a front engine rear drive car. So the way that I can get away with braking late into a corner with this car is completely different than when I'm driving my 458 Italia, which is a mid-engine rear drive car. So without further ado, we're going to start watching this. The very first corner that you're going to run into here is going to be the north corner here. It's called the north turn right after you come down the stretch. Right outside, I'm not going to pronounce them all in German. Number one driver! Zach, we're breaking down your favorite track, my guy. Thanks for popping in here, my dude. We're going to be going over my 7.41 in my Dodge Viper, which is an extremely fast time for the endurance course. So, without further ado, let's go. You can't hate this track. It's impossible. It is impossible. So a lot of what we're going to see in this car is a lot of late braking and throttle adjustment through corners. It takes a lot of time in this particular car to learn the limitations of what your traction is and what gears you can get away with. I quickly upshift to 2 so I don't over torque my tires here. Late entry, fast exit. You're gonna brake right around 100, about 75 meters here. Take it into second, up to third, and then back down to second to come through this corner here. Full speed down this straight. We're gonna brake in between the first and the second pylon up here. Right about 75 meters. Cut it real close through the chicane. Nice and beautiful. Almost lost the rear end. Okay, here's where we enter our north turn. Gonna bring it down to first. Try to power through, shift on exit. If you do this right, with just coming off the throttle, you can usually carry this full speed, but right there I lost it a little bit. Gonna brake real late right in here. Going through the great oaks here. Now the track expert guide says to stay off the curbs on the inside here. I have not found success as we come down through the airfield here. This is where Jan Martinborough went airborne here. The key is to be wide open here. Follow the inside line until you get max speed up over the hill. When you do, you want to enter it from outside. If you can carry the full speed, you're going to downshift all the way down to second gear, I believe. Yep. Carry it. Lots of speed on exit there. This is wide open here. Coming up to the Swedish cross right after. I like to downshift once and then down to second or third right when you come up to the Swedish cross here. It's going to be the Metzke's Field coming up. Going to get down to about second gear on entry. Carry the speed throughout, wide open. Gonna drop down to second, maybe even first to slow it down. Now because I'm in a rear drive, I usually take this with a little, about 3/4 pressure on the throttle, downshift to third, and then press all the way down. Second to entry, first to go around. We're looking for this runoff area on the right to start braking. Down to second, carry it through, upshift once, maybe downshift to the right. Wide open here. Your indicator when you're getting through this area after this left-hander is going to be the big drum on the right. See this coming up right here? Brake, brake. Wide open. The Lifty Valley, I believe. Yeah. Now the key here, we're going to back this part up here. This is my one mistake in the entire course. We're going to back this up. So as you're approaching this corner, depending on how you trust your car, now in my case, you're in sixth gear going 174 to 180 miles per hour. If you do the entry right and you're all the way to the right side at limb, you can take this corner with just a downshift, no brake pressure. Or if you're in a right car, mid-engine rear drive car perchance, you can take this wide open without downshifting at all. So the difference in this corner is going to be about 1 to 2 seconds on your lap time. So if you do this corner right, wide open, it's about 2 seconds positive. If you do it wrong, like I just did, it's going to affect you about 3 seconds negative. So we're going to hit this. You're going to see me kind of recover. This is why I show this particular lap time, because it's not perfect. It's almost impossible to drive this track perfectly. So here we're gonna come up here. Full speed in sixth gear. We're at 183 miles per hour. At limb, just a little too little turning there, and I didn't get it enough brake time. But I recover, full speed. You're gonna look for your curb on your left to start braking right now. Carry your first gear throughout until we come to the carousel. Now, right here in the carousel, you're going to want to brake as late as you can, depending on your style. A lot of people say don't use your first gear. I like to use my first gear because when I'm in a car that's only a 6-gear car like this one, I'm going to want to give it as late a reaction as possible and maximize my torque through the curb. Because the thing as you're going through your carousel is you can apply traction and grip mechanically with throttle instead of braking and slowing down. So you can use the throttle and the angle and the curb. What you're going to see here is I'm going to drop into first before I enter the carousel. Going to hold it there, see? First, second on exit. You're going to be wide open here. You're going to be looking for the lines on the road right here to drop. Right here. Drop, drop. Second gear, go into third. Now you can carry third through here depending on how your momentum feels. But right here is where things get tricky. What you got to understand in the sequence of corners that we're about to be going through here, this is the Seesaw Man. And Hedwig Height is where we're going through, and then we're going to get through the Ashbrook. Now, the thing here is consistent speed, okay? The reason why I'm staying in third, I'm already halfway at my RPM, is because by the time you come down the hill after this right-hander, you're going to be carrying a ton of momentum. That's not the corner that gets you, though. It's the corner after. So if you're going to go through this fast, you're really going to want to go through and maintain a consistent speed. Watch how I do this. So third, just going to press through, not a lot of speed, downshift to adjust, then open up, downshift at the end. See? Same story. This is a repeat of the similar corner. Downshift, carry your speed, now exit. See how I exit at limb? Right to the curb. Gonna open it up. We're gonna downshift to second right up here. Perfect traction with RPM here. Now this area with throttle adjustment, you shouldn't have to do a ton of braking, if at all. You brake right here before you go airborne. Downshift. Carry your speed up over the crest to the left, staying as close to the left as you can because you're about to drop here, see? Drop. Now you open up. Throttle adjustment is everything here. No brakes. This is going to be your indicator to slow down one gear. Downshifted in. And then the second carousel, I like to enter in second gear. As far left as you can, but I came out of it. Lots of speed here. Downshift once. Now with the little throttle adjustment, you should be able to go wide open here. Is there ever a more beautiful American car? Good Lord, look at that thing. As we come down the straights, we're going to be going maximum here, almost 200 miles per hour. The key here is to not be afraid and to not brake too early. Okay, so we're coming down the straight. Picture this. Now how this is going to go in the sequence here is we're coming down Dottingham straight, down to Antinous Beach, into the Animal Garden. Now the thing is, we're going to enter the Animal Garden corner all the way to the left of the curb, not contacting the curb, because if you touch the curb, you're going to hop. And if you hop and then you brake, you're going to spin. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to get as close to the curb as you can without touching it, and then slow down after that right-hander. So when you see it here, watch, I'll show you. All the way to the left, then to the right, it's straight now, we slow down here. See, we adjust down to second, even first, come around, full speed on exit, stay to the left, smaller hop, wide open to the finish, see? Beautiful lap time. Now, we're going to run this again, but we're going to run it in the mid-engine variant so you can see the difference. We're going to do it in the Ferrari Redemption run. This is about 4 seconds slower, 3 seconds slower, but it is a heck of a lap time in a mid-engine car. This car was barely in my top 20. Now it's in my top 10. Let's get a look at this car first. Beautiful. Now you're going to notice a lot earlier braking and later exit, or earlier exit throttle in the Ferrari, due to the traction that mid-engine gets you differently than the front engine does in cornering. Shift up to second, press through. Our indicator is the first 100 meters right here. 1, 2, down to second gear. Gonna carry it through wide open. Gonna brake in between at 75 here. Ready? Brake, downshift to second, carry it through. Downshift to second, carry it through. Nice and easy on exit. We're gonna wide open out here. We're gonna brake in the same place between the last two markers here if we can. Down to third gear, carry it. Look how tight that is. Like a tiger. What a beautiful game this is. Now watch how the speed differs here in this first setup of the foxholes. Wide open in fifth gear almost. We're gonna brake a little earlier here, because we gotta maintain control of this mid-engine car. I wish you guys could see the throttle indicator here. Keep it on, always on. Because if you're going back and forth between on, off, you're not carrying speed in your corners. We're going to crest the hill in the airfield here. Downshift is usually what we do, but we didn't because we have all the high speed in the mid-engine car that we can carry in cornering. My goodness, are we going fast. Shift down to second. Carry the speed, carry the speed. Hear how I still have throttle going? I can't remember if this lap time was perfect or not. I'm sure there's a mistake in here somewhere. Right when we crest here, we're going to downshift to once, twice, carry fourth gear, downshift to third, to the second line, downshift again, see? The important thing to remember, I'm going to back us up, is understanding focal points. Now, a lot of people are using driving line assistance or braking line assistance. The truth is, those indicators are very helpful. However, they really harm your lap times. So if you're trying to shave seconds off of a lap time, you got to start learning that if you're driving a specific car, what its characteristics are relative to the corner. So in this case, we're going to back up here. See how we're cresting the hill here? This is a 2 downshift in this car for me before we crest the hill to the left, okay? Now what happens under normal circumstances, if you're taking this too fast and you brake too late, it's going to send you right into the wall. And this is a notorious corner in real life. So when you hit this corner, you got to understand your control and your entrance to the corner. So right here, I'm going to downshift twice. Carry my speed up. And then my indicator is coming up. See how there's this set of lines here? It's my second set of lines that I'm actually going to adjust and break down. Watch. See? Now I have control to upshift as necessary. Downshift once. Gonna get down to second gear. Carry the speed through the corner, see? Downshift again when we enter. Wide open. Gonna come off the throttle a little bit through here. Wide open again. Can I carry fourth through? Yes, I can. All the way down, wide open. Downshift down to second. And then into first to the corner. Okay, now we're talking about brake indications here, right here. For me, my brake indicator is this, like, porta-john and this exit road here, this safety road right here before this left-hander. So this is about whereabouts I start downshifting, and I usually, depending on the car, will downshift to second gear. So this one might be third gear because it's wider, but I might be getting down to about second gear, up to third, and then back down to second when I take the final right-hander. So here's how it goes. Down, 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 yep, second gear. Lots of speed throughout. We're going to downshift again. Carry the speed, wide open. Now this is another full speed corner up here. Now again, that indicator I was telling you about, it was a big drum, but it's actually this Bergwerk sign for the corner with the Yokohama. I'm pretty sure there used to be a big oil drum or something right there, but either way, this sign is our brake point here. We're in fifth gear. We're going to try to get down to second or third gear to carry through this corner before the big straight. Carrying it with third, beautiful. Lots of speed. Okay, now remember what I said when we were talking about the Viper. The entrance into this corner is going to cost you, it's going to make you or break you 3 to 5 seconds of lap time, okay? You're going to want to exit this corner at limb to your right. And in most cases, I like to downshift here once and then turn, depending on the car. In the McLaren 720, I take it wide open. I don't downshift. I don't brake. This car has the capability to do it wide open. I just don't always have the trust for it. But watch how I enter this corner. One downshift, little throttle adjustment. It's perfect. Braking indicator here is this left curb. See? Down to about second gear. Now this guy right here by this 142 marker is roughly as you're cresting the hill where I start downshifting. And again, I like to be in about first gear when I enter this corner. Almost lost myself there. Upshift quick. Wide open here. Listen to the throttle here. Listen to it, it's still going, always going. You keep your throttle always going here. See how you carry your speed? You carry it. I'm gonna downshift, I can feel it. Same thing up here, we're gonna downshift a second. Carry the speed up the hill. Now this area can be very tricky for mid-engine cars because it's very technical, and the ups and the downs and the altitude changes are really a struggle to gain traction. So you have to keep in mind your entrance to the corners here on these switchbacks is extremely crucial. You have to try not to touch the curbs if you can help it. Now there are some towards the end of this hill sequence that you can be fine with, but what you're going to pay attention to here is you're going to try to be at the far left-hand side of the track as you're coming down this hill, because ultimately you're gonna oversteer a little bit, and what you want to do is you're going to want to have that throttle adjustment to regain your traction as you come down. And then as you approach the huge dip, I always like to downshift right before I do, so that I don't overshoot that corner and I have just enough torque to come through the right-hander. Watch. Point the car through, downshift and brake. Right there, see how I did that? And then this is the part where we have to point and be careful. To the left, far left. Down, little throttle adjust. Wide open, no mistakes. Indicator is this fence line right here. There's this little fence right there, that one singular fence. Once you hit that in most cars, you're going to want to downshift to fourth until you get up to that left-hander. So it's going to be a fourth, carry your speed through, downshift once, left-hander, and then downshift again to second when you get to the second carousel. So we're in fifth here. Take it to third. Up. Down twice. Good entrance. See how that works? This is a fairly solid run here. Okay, this is the part where we're coming down the hill almost 200 miles per hour. Just a reminder, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, don't touch the curbs. Straighten the car out before you brake hard. Just like that, nice smooth exit. That ended up being a 7:45.9, which is a pretty fast time. But a lot of what we're running here is we're running consistent Group 3 car speed, you know, cars that are right around 799 performance points or so. So that's really what we're getting. So a lot of what we're seeing in this is consistency brings your lap speed up. And that sounds cliche, but you have to be super consistent on this track. If you really want to understand how it works, I've probably put the majority of my miles on this specific track. I love it. So we're going to run maybe one more run. And I think what we're going to run is this one I ran. I feel like this is my Aston Martin here. A car that I don't drive hardly at all. I had 23 miles on it when I started running this. It is totally my Aston Martin. But this is a great run. Take a quick peek at this livery. Real simple, real easy. Nothing too fancy. Now we went from mid-engine back to rear-engine driving. Or not rear-engine, front-engine driving. Some of these corners are far more forgiving for front engine cars than they are for rear engine cars. Gonna brake between the final two. Late brake. Good adjustment though. So there you have it. Just some quick rundown on a number of Group 3 cars. Hopefully this helps you with your lap times on this particular course. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not out here trying to tell you that I'm the fastest guy around, but when it comes to this track, I feel like I have a very good understanding of it. And I know that there's a lot more potential for a way faster lap time out there. And, you know, the more you practice it, obviously with anything else, the faster you're going to get. But some of these times that I have on here, like, it doesn't save all the times anymore, but I just want to show you. Like, in just these cars, my Viper was carrying a 751 for a while. My Ferrari was in the 755 range, but now I've got these cars running a 741, and my Ferrari's running a 745. So you take these incremental gains as you get them, and a lot of them have to do with just understanding the momentum of the car, carrying the car through the corner. You know, as you run through these, you're going to find that there's a lot of potential in seconds of lap time on this very large 14-mile course. So have some fun with it. Hopefully my brake zones help you a little bit. Hopefully you're driving without the brake indicator and you can take an honest look at those brake zones and utilize them. But anyways, thanks for watching. Either way, I appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe and follow for more. Shout out to all my friends and family that have been watching me on this. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.